Hey YouTube. So I want to cover this video on a quite an important topic that I see coaches online covering this in the shorter sort of reels, like it is a kind of important topic, and that is training over the age of 30, 40 or 50. So today we're going to go outside of the home gym here. We're going to train laterals. So please join me for the session, and while we do the session we're also going to discuss the topic at hand. What way should you train and eat and recover over the age of 30, 40 or 50? As always, before we start, if you do enjoy the video, please do like and subscribe because it helps me greatly and I'm trying to grow. So your help would be much appreciated. Let's go. So we've got this new bit of equipment here set up, just a simple cable machine, which is actually not pinned, weighted. It's actually, so you slip your own plates on to the thing. And in terms of like smoothness, this is actually the first time me using it. So this will be the first session, which will just be like a lateral session. It's fairly smooth and it has nice pull-up bars. A low row, has everything you need, and obviously pretty soon I'm going to be taking clients and such in here, so I wanted as much, access to decent profiles and the movements and everything as I can. So today's session is going to be just lateral. So what I do is most of my sessions is I split them up, right? So I'm currently 21 weeks out from a show. And excuse the mess in here as well because it's still under renovation. But I'm currently 21 weeks away from a show, and to sort of reduce stress, I tend to break my sessions up. So, currently I'm on my lunch working from home, so being able to come out here is quite handy. So get the laterals out of the way. Tonight will be all encompassing push. So it means that I don't really need to fit in the laterals and other sort of accessory parts when I'm doing my main sort of exercises. But yeah, so let's go, and then we're going to discuss the topic at hand today, which is training over the age of 30, 40 and 50. So when it comes to training over the age of 30 and 40, guys, I think, and obviously women, I don't want to alienate women obviously as well, but, I think, with coaches online try to complicate a lot of things, and they sort of try to make people believe that, after a certain age, there's a certain sort of applicable way that, you should really train, for overall efficiency and, being able to build muscle. And they do this for one simple reason, right? In a very saturated market, that is PT and online coaching, you watch these videos and it's very normal to think that obviously there should be some sort of weird, different way for everyone. Now, when it comes to training, we should humanize training, right? One shoe does not obviously always fit all, and same as nutrition and training, there needs to be a definitely a human element to it. But at the same time, there is also there should be an accepted scientific approach to it as well. Quite simply because you can't really say something's a science if you don't have some form of accepted prerequisite positions, on the facts of training, physiology and nutrition and stuff. So I'll give you that background. I am now over 30, so I'm 32. And what I can say is training definitely, the approach can change when you get to the age of 30. Quite simply for people over the age of 30, and obviously there's guys going out there, it's not over the age of 40, is probably going to tell me now that, we'll wait till you get to 40, we'll wait till you get to 50, wait till you get to 60. But what you have to understand is, as them sort of decades move on, yes, recovery levels of more demand, and that's the main factor we need to talk about. The training and approach realistically kind of stays the same. The variable that changes is your recovery, your ability to recover. So that forces your training and nutrition. Nutrition should always more or less stay the same, but it kind of forces your approach to training and routine to change, right? Because if your recovery is limited, You simply cannot get away with what you used to do when you were in your 20s, for example. And one of the sort of main things that I would say behind that is it's life also changes, right? And I think that's the biggest thing probably, life changes. You know, it's not just the case that you get to the point in your life where, you know, I don't know, maybe that you feel that you're older. It's more the case that you know, maybe kids start coming into the mix, longer working hours, you've got more responsibilities, and that's the variable that starts to limit things. More stress demands, more recovery demands, and in turn makes more recovery demands with the higher stress. So if you want a wee bit of a background story, I've moved from various different, lifestyle changes. Obviously, I trained in my early 20s. I did photo shoots. I did my first competition just around before the age of 30. I obviously had to change my training style when I had kids. I have 3 children, 4, 3, and 3 months old. So I've went through enough age changes and lifestyle changes to, I feel, give a decent enough answer to this. So let's just get to it. So you are, say, someone that's 30 or 40 or 50, right? What I would say, quite simply, is your nutrition is quite important. Every year after the age of 30, your testosterone levels are dropping by a percentile. Now, while that might not sound like a lot, couple that with the fact that now your sleep starts to get less and less because you have less free time in your hands. You probably haven't started to have children. You have more responsibilities around the house, different stress factors. Maybe you start to take on more current duties when you're older. A multitude of different factors that these can relate to. When these things start to occur, you're gonna really need to be on your shit. And this is where I think nutrition is the most important factor to this, because you need to be really ticking your boxes in terms of getting good quality food in you for your training and for longevity. Now, the main thing you're probably thinking about is the training. Once we understand the basics of muscle growth, for example, or strength, when you're let's say underdeveloped in that department, the body requires very little stimuli to actually stimulate the muscles to signal growth, right? So if we accept that factor and take that into consideration, you really need very limited sets and volume to grow, especially for the first couple of years. So with that, we can manage our recovery by doing a lot more sets. So 1 working set per exercise would be sufficient enough. We can also structure programs in such a way, like a full body approach, where you're doing just 1 set. So 1 heavy pull, 1 heavy push, 1 heavy legs, maybe a couple of arm accessory works and shoulder accessory works. You should be good to go in about a day or 2 after. So your recovery demands will be low, meaning you'll be able to train more often and make more progress. And that's the approach you should be taking. Coupled with the fact that sort of, especially guys, when they go on the kind of like their health crusades, they like to do a lot, right? So for them, it's like, I need to do so much. So I'm gonna start running, I'm gonna start weight training. Once we also understand the fact that, you know, especially when losing weight, any sort of high impactful cardio like sprinting and really long endurance stuff can also have a negative impact in terms of hormone production and testosterone, mainly because the body, again, it's high stressors, it's high recovery demand. And if you're trying to balance them too, which I see a lot of people doing with training, heavy lifting, and also, maybe long runs, we can see where the problems start to occur. So as a bonus for the last set here, I'm going to show you, this is my top working set. I'm going to show you what a failure set should look like. So this is what we were talking about, this 1 hard set's all required. I'm going to show you how it should look like, okay? The intensity that you should be going to at the end of these sets to make that 1 set worthwhile. Let's get it. Come on. Oof, come on. Come on. Come on. So as you can see there in the last rep, it was tight, it was a fight. Now, could I have went to beyond failure, where like I put it down again, maybe try a really badly formed rep or maybe half a rep? Yes, but that will create additional recovery demands, which we don't want. So as soon as mechanical failure has been reached, that's failure, in my perspective anyway. But this is the suggestion that I would give for people over 30, 40 and 50s. Anyone with aged or maybe lifestyle commitments, the type of training you want to do is the ones that require least amount of volume, okay? Lift heavy, sensible, heavy, between 6 to 10 reps. No like massive 1 to 2 or 3 rep maxes because it's going to be hard on your joints. Track it every week and ensure anytime you're lifting up your weights that it's manageable, that you're not stressing your body out to an exorbitant amount. Remember, your one focus here when you're older is recovery. If you can recover, it shouldn't take no more than 2 sleeps, 2 days to recover, to be able to good to go again. If it takes any more than that, drop the volume back and drop the sets back. Anyway, if you liked the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, I've been Carl from the Ox Den, and I'll catch you then.